Now, if you ever worked in sales, you probably have heard of these objections before. The price is too high, I need to talk it over with my business partner, or now it's just not a good time. So in this video, I'm gonna show you my 3-step framework to basically handle any type of objection, no matter what your product or service is, and no matter what your industry is. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Patrick Dang here. Now in this video, like I just said, we're gonna show you a 3-step framework to handle any type of objection, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what product or service you are selling. This is gonna be especially important if you ever feel stuck in a sales cycle, unable to handle certain objections and unable to close deals. We're gonna show you how to overcome them using the simple 3-step framework. Now this is gonna be especially important if you ever found yourself stuck in a sales cycle and unable to move forward or close a deal. And it's gonna be especially useful if you ever get stuck on objections and don't really know what to say. So by the end of this video, you're gonna get my 3-step framework to handle any objections, and you can actually use it and apply it right away to start getting results. Now, if you're excited to learn my 3-step formula, go ahead and give this video a like. Every like does help this channel grow, especially because it's a new channel. And if you're looking for new sales training videos every single week, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I am gonna be releasing new videos every week. And if you wanna get notified on that, make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And again, every like and subscribe really does help, as this is a brand new channel, and every like and subscribe that you give helps this channel grow and reach more audiences. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the 3-step framework to handle any objection. Now, the first thing we got to do is we actually have to develop the right mindset and set the right intentions when you are handling these objections. So when you're handling objections, you want to make sure that you don't want to be fake, you don't want to be inauthentic, and you don't want to sound like a robot reading from a script. And the reason is because people can sense it. You know, people can feel when you're being fake or inauthentic, and you really lose trust with the customer. So again, don't be fake, don't be a robot. Be genuine, be real, okay? Now, the second thing we're gonna cover when it comes to objection handling mindset is that sometimes in sales, people think of it as a fight, right? Like the prospect says this, you say that, you counter, right? And the thing is, although you can take sales seriously and you might think of it as a fight, sometimes that comes off a little too aggressive or a little too assertive and might rub people the wrong way. So instead, when you're handling objections, you wanna have the mindset of, instead of a fight, you're actually just having a conversation with the prospect, right? You're just trying to see whether or not it makes sense for you two to work together in some capacity. So don't get frustrated when people come up with objections. Don't try to knock them back and make them feel like they're wrong. All you got to do is really listen and have a conversation. And really, a sales objection is just a reason for why the prospect isn't ready to buy. It doesn't mean that they don't want to buy. In some cases, they may want to actually buy your products and services, but they have some blockers that are preventing them from actually doing it, right? So all you have to do is remove those blockers, which are those objections, and help the customer buy whatever it is you're offering. And a little disclaimer before we actually get into the 3-step formula is that throughout the entire sales process, there are always a lot of things you can do to prevent objections from even coming up. But for this video, what I want to do is I want to focus on what actually happens when you get that objection and what you should do and say to help have that conversation to help the customer buy and handle those objections. All right, so step number 1 when it comes to handling objections is you want to empathize with your prospect. So let's say at the end of a sales meeting, the prospect says, okay, sounds interesting, Patrick, but I need to talk it over with my business partner. So I'll get back to you. And for a lot of salespeople, this actually might happen a lot. They'll say, I'll think about it. I got to talk to this person about it. I got to talk to my boss about it, right? So as a salesperson or anyone doing any type of selling, you do not want to get frustrated. You do not want to get mad that this person's delaying the deal. So instead, what we want to do is you want to empathize with the prospect, understand where they're coming from, their feelings, and what exactly they need to do to move forward to the next step. And you never want to assume the reasoning for why people give you these type of objections, right? Because you literally don't know. So instead, you empathize with the prospect and then you seek truth. Try to understand where they're coming from and their reasoning behind it. So in the example that I just gave, so let's say the prospect says they need to talk it over with their business partner, okay? So instead of getting frustrated, I'm going to empathize, I'm going to seek truth, and I'm going to use a question to do this at the same time. So let me show you how I would handle this objection. Hey, I totally understand that you need to talk to your business partner before making a decision. After all, it is a pretty big decision. Now, before you do, I'm just curious, when you do have that conversation, what exactly are you going to talk about? Maybe I can help clarify some points before you actually go into that conversation. So in this example, how I'm handling that objection is, first, I'm showing empathy. I'm understanding where he's coming from and that it's a big decision. So obviously he needs to talk it over and he can't just make an impulse buy, right? So I understand him from from that perspective. Then I need to seek truth and understand what exactly he needs to talk about with his business partner, right? Because maybe it's price, maybe it's value, maybe it's just something I don't know, right? So instead of me guessing or assuming what they're going to talk about, I can just ask and say, hey, when you do have that meeting, what exactly do you need to talk about? Maybe I can help clarify some points before you actually start that conversation, right? Instead of your prospects having an isolated conversation without you necessarily being there, you can actually just bring up all the points on that call right there and really handle any more objections that they might have. So in this meeting, the prospect might come back and say, oh, we're actually looking at many other vendors besides you, so we want to see which one is the best, right? So that's new information that I may have never got. And so with that information, change the dynamics of the sales meeting so I can understand who these other vendors are and show what value that I bring that are different from all these other people, right? But I would have never known that if I didn't, one, show empathy, and number two, seek truth. So I'll give you another example of using empathy, right? So let's say the prospect says, hey, right now it's not the best time. So I can say something like, okay, I appreciate you letting me know that. Just curious, in the future, when would be a better time for you to move forward with something like this? And the prospect might say, oh, well, maybe 2 months. And I say, okay, well, I'm just curious, what needs to happen within those 2 months before you can make a decision? The prosecutor might come back and say, oh, I have a meeting next month. I need to talk to this person, blah, blah, blah. Whatever reason, doesn't really matter, right? And then I can say something to shorten that sales cycle. And I say, okay, I understand where you're coming from. I get why it takes 2 months, but is there a reason for why it needs to be 2 months versus, let's say, 1 month or even 1 week? And the prospect might come back and say, I never really thought about it like that. Maybe I'll just do it all this week and I'll get back to you, right? So you can see in this example, I'm showing empathy. I'm seeking the truth and understanding why they're delaying a deal for 2 months. And then I'm trying to do things to shorten the sales cycle, because a lot of times people just give a blanket answer of, 1 month or 2 months and reach back out to me. But instead, what I want to do is understand exactly what needs to happen for them to move forward with the deal and then shorten that sales cycle. And that's all possible with empathy and seeking truth with questions. All right, so we're going to move forward with step number 2, which is making the prospect feel heard, okay? So it's not enough for you to understand a prospect's perspective. You have to make them feel like you actually understand, right? Because if they don't feel like you understand, then they're gonna think that you actually don't, even if you do. And subconsciously, what you wanna do is you wanna make the prospect feel like, okay, this guy understands me. He's not trying to sell me something like all the other salespeople out there. And really, I almost see him like a friend. And one of the most powerful ways to make someone feel like they're heard is to summarize everything that they said and then repeat it back to them, which shows them that you are in fact listening. And you can also take it a step further by giving examples of past clients who also face a similar situation and explaining their story as well. So not only do you show that you're listening, but you also show some credibility that you helped other people who faced the exact same problem during that sales process. So here's an example, okay? So let's say I'm trying to sell something. I'm talking to a prospect over the phone and they tell me, hey, Patrick, I really see the value in what you're selling, but right now it just isn't a good time because we already invested in this other software and, we're a little low on cash reserves and we really can't invest right now, but I do see the value. So maybe sometime in the future we could pick up this conversation. So if a prospect tells me that, right, I could say something like, hey, I totally understand where you're coming from. You already invested in other software. So I get that making another big investment might be a little risky for you guys, especially if your cash reserves are a little low. I actually noticed that for companies your size, this is a pretty common problem. And, some of the clients that we worked with in the past face the exact same thing. So as you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm basically summarizing everything the prospect had just said to me, saying it in my own words and using some of the words that he used. And subconsciously, the prospect is going to feel like, oh, this guy actually understands me. He's not shoving product down my throat and he's actually listening to what I have to say. So once you make the prospect feel like they're heard, you're building rapport with this person, right? You're getting this person to trust you a lot more because you're showing that you're listening. And this is going to be particularly useful for the next step. And step number 3 is actually offering a new perspective. So once you show empathy towards your prospect, you get to the truth of why they're giving you any type of objection, and then you make them feel heard and show them that you understand their objection. Now it's time for you to help them see things in a different light and offer a new perspective. Now here's the trick with this. Even if you disagree with someone's perspective, you don't necessarily have to tell them that they're wrong, right? Because nobody wants to feel wrong. And if you make them feel that way, they're not going to trust you and they're not going to buy whatever you're selling. And even in situations where someone is actually factually wrong, you don't have to tell them they're wrong. Instead, what you can do is understand where they're coming from, understand how they got to that conclusion, and show them a new perspective. Because people don't like to be wrong, but they love to learn new things, okay? So I'm going to use this example that I just used previously where I'm trying to sell, let's say, a software and the prospect has already invested in other software and they don't really have much money right now. So once I showed empathy, got to the truth, and I showed them that I'm listening, and I'm going to show you how I can change their perspective and maybe open up their budgets a little bit more so they can start investing in themselves. So I can say, hey, you know, I totally get where you're coming from, that right now it may not make the most sense to invest in more software, right? But you know what's interesting is that, you know, some of the clients we worked with in the past who were pretty much the exact same position you're in right now, instead of looking at purchasing the software as an expense, they looked at it as an investment. Because the thing is, if they were able to invest, let's say $5,000 a month in this software, if they were able to get a 50% ROI just from using this software alone, for sure it would be worth it and it would actually solve a lot of their cash flow problems. And I understand that, hey, maybe you don't want to make the investment right now, or maybe you need a little more time because obviously nobody can really do 100% guarantees that you'll make a 50% ROI. But based on everything that you told me so far and based on, you know, all the clients I worked with in the past, you know, it's really not typical for you to get that 50% ROI, return on investment, within your second month. So instead of thinking this purchase as an expense and, you know, kind of changing that perspective and looking at it from an investment point of view, you know, what are your thoughts so far? And typically the prospect will respond with, oh, I never really thought of it as an investment. I just kind of looked at it as an expense. And then they'll ask more questions on, you know, how exactly are you going to get a 50% ROI? Then you continue the conversation and you can start, you know, selling exactly how you do XYZ, right? So the point is, I don't want to tell the prospect that they're wrong. I just want to show them a different point of view that actually might be more beneficial for their business. And I feel like as long as you really confidently believe that you can get the results that you're promising to your customers, then it's completely ethical and okay to change their perspective if your intent is to actually help them. All right, to bring it together and summarize everything that we learned so far in this video, right? Step number one in handling objections is show empathy, understand where the prospect is coming from, and use questions to uncover the truth of how they got to their conclusions. Step number two is make the prospect feel heard, because it's not enough for you to understand the prospect. You have to make them feel like you understand to build that rapport and build that trust, so that for the next step, step number three, you can actually offer a new perspective and change their way of looking at things. And hopefully, once you change that perspective, they're going to be able to purchase your products and services because obviously they see the value in it. So whether you're dealing with objections like the price is too high, now's not a good time, I need to talk it over with my wife or my business partner, you can use this 3-step methodology over and over to handle any objection. And not only can you apply this to your sales cycle to speed up deals and even close more deals, you can actually apply this to your everyday life, whether it's talking to your friends, having an argument with somebody, or maybe it's talking to your significant other, right? No matter what situation you're in with people, it's always good to empathize from where they're coming from, understand their reasoning behind what they're saying, make the other person feel like they feel heard, and really offer different perspectives to help them grow as a person, right? So again, these skills, of course, apply it in sales, you know, close more deals and you make more money and everything like that. But at the same time, also use them in your everyday regular life to really increase the quality of your communication and increase the quality of your life. And because personally, I've done it myself and it has really improved my life, I really believe that it can do the same for you guys. And so with that said, if you made it to the end of this video, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you and I'm really happy that you're getting a lot of value from these videos. And as a reminder, if you made it to the end, go ahead and give this video a like if you haven't already, because every like does actually help a lot. And if you want to see new sales training videos every single week, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be releasing new videos every single week. And don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. And the last thing is, in the comments section, go ahead and leave your #1 sales challenge. Okay, in the comments, leave your #1 sales challenge, because in my past videos, if you look, I actually do literally answer every single comment and I see all these questions and I do try to incorporate them into future videos. And in this video, I actually did incorporate some of the questions that people had inside, which is handling objections. So again, leave your #1 sales challenge in the comments because I'm going to incorporate all of these into my new sales videos. So anyways, with that said, thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you and I'm going to see you guys in the next video.